The Pittsburgh Steelers entered Soldier Field with the momentum of a team leading the AFC North and a chance to tighten their grip on a playoff spot. But what followed was a dramatic collapse that few saw coming, a 31-28 loss to the Chicago Bears that exposed critical flaws across all three phases of the game, and in doing so, they may have unraveled the very foundation of their season. This wasn't just another defeat, it was a choke job, plain and simple. Let's start with the numbers. Pittsburgh had more first downs than the Bears, 22-19, outgained them in rushing yards, 186-99, held a better third down conversion rate, 57% to 54%, committed fewer penalties, and controlled the clock by a sizable margin, 33 minutes and 9 seconds to 26 minutes and 51 seconds. Statistically, they played winning football. But as head coach Mike Tomlin would say after the game, any number of plays could have changed the outcome. Unfortunately for the Steelers, nearly every one of those crucial plays went the wrong way. Mason Rudolph, filling in for the injured Aaron Rodgers, had an up-and-down outing. He completed 24 of 31 passes for 171 yards and a touchdown, but also threw a back-breaking interception on his first pass of the game, picked off by Bears cornerback Nahshon Wright. The Bears immediately capitalized with rookie quarterback Caleb Williams finding DJ Moore for a 5-yard touchdown. It was an inauspicious start, but Rudolph quickly rebounded. Pittsburgh responded with a 13-play, 95-yard touchdown drive that featured strong runs by Kenneth Gainwell and Jaylen Warren, as well as a 21-yard play-action strike to Ben Skowronek. The drive was capped off by a lateral pass to DK Metcalf, who weaved through defenders and scored from 6 yards out to tie the game. On the next drive, the Steelers' defense stepped up. TJ Watt chased Williams into the end zone and strip-sacked the rookie phenom. Linebacker Nick Herbig recovered the fumble for a touchdown, giving Pittsburgh a 14-7 lead. Watt's sack not only provided the spark, it moved him ahead of his brother J.J. Watt on the all-time sack list. A historic moment that added to the emotional high. And the momentum didn't stop there. After a fumble recovery by rookie Yahya Black at midfield, Pittsburgh had a chance to build a 2-score cushion, but a failed 4th-and-1 attempt from the Chicago 30-yard line handed the ball back to the Bears. It was a missed opportunity that would loom large. Chicago responded with another touchdown, a 12-yard pass from Williams to tight end Colston Loveland to tie the game 14-14. But Pittsburgh had one more trick up their sleeve before the half. Facing 4th-and-1 from their own 44, the Steelers lined up in their tush-push formation, but surprised everyone. Instead of sneaking forward, Connor Hayward handed off to Gainwell, who sprinted 55 yards to the Chicago 1-yard line. Warren scored on the next play, and the Steelers were back in control, 21-14. It was a gutsy play, a perfectly executed fake, and it felt like the kind of moment that could tilt the game permanently. But just before halftime, the Bears clawed back once again. Caleb Williams orchestrated a quick drive downfield, and Cairo Santos nailed a 47-yard field goal as time expired. Pittsburgh still led 21-17, but the Bears had seized just enough momentum to keep things tense. Then came the second half and the collapse. A special teams mistake on punt coverage allowed the Bears to start their first drive from the 40-yard line instead of deep in their own territory. It proved costly. Williams connected on passes of 17, 14, and another 14 yards before hitting DJ Moore for a 25-yard touchdown that gave the Bears a 24-21 lead. Pittsburgh's next 3 drives: punt, punt, fumble. The offense, so efficient in the first half, became sluggish and conservative, and the Bears made them pay. After a Montez Sweat strip sack of Rudolph, the Bears converted the turnover into a 9-play, 54-yard drive, capped off by a 2-yard touchdown run from Kyle Monangai. Just like that, it was 31-21. The Steelers had gone from leading at halftime to trailing by 10 in less than a quarter. Yet they weren't done. Rudolph showed resilience, leading a 17-play, 73-yard drive that chewed up nearly 8 minutes. He found Pat Freiermuth in the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown on 3rd, down to bring the Steelers within 3, 31-28, with 6 minutes and 27 seconds remaining. What followed was perhaps the most maddening sequence of the game. The Steelers' defense forced back-to-back 3-and-outs. Twice, Pittsburgh had the ball with a chance to take the lead, or at least tie it, but the offense faltered. With 2 minutes and 1 second left and 3 timeouts, Mike Tomlin opted to punt on 4th and 9 from near midfield. They got the ball back with 1 minute and 29 seconds left, but no timeouts. The final drive began with promise. Rudolph hit Freiermuth for 14, then Gainwell and Metcalf moved the chains. But after a holding penalty and 2 short gains, the Steelers faced a 4th and 6 from the Bears' 47. Rudolph's pass was batted at the line by Jaquan Brisker. The Steelers went from controlling their destiny to scrambling for answers. Chicago had entered the game depleted, missing multiple starters in the secondary and linebacker core. They were vulnerable. Yet Pittsburgh allowed Caleb Williams to throw for 239 yards and 3 touchdowns, with DJ Moore and Luther Burden exploiting soft zone coverage repeatedly. The Steelers' infamous cover 3 defense reared its ugly head, allowing easy completions and missed tackles. Even TJ Watt's heroics and strong individual efforts by Gainwell and Freiermuth couldn't mask the issues. Pittsburgh gave up 21 points off turnovers and failed to protect Rudolph in key moments. The offensive line allowed crucial sacks, and the special teams unit sabotaged field position repeatedly. Worse yet, the loss cost the Steelers more than just a game. With Baltimore's win earlier that day, the Ravens jumped ahead in the AFC North standings. Pittsburgh, now 6-5, dropped out of playoff position. And with upcoming games against the Bills, Lions, and 2 matchups against the Ravens, the road doesn't get easier. This collapse also reignited criticism of Tomlin's game management. Known for his motto, "We don't live in our fears," his decision to punt late in the 4th quarter when aggressive action was needed spoke louder than any sideline quote. Rodgers is expected to return next week. But questions remain. Will he be enough? Can he instantly fix the issues that have plagued the Steelers all season: turnovers, slow second halves, and defensive lapses? The loss to the Bears wasn't just one bad game. It was a full team unraveling, the kind of loss that forces soul-searching. Tomlin, speaking post-game, emphasized urgency. "We just got to live every down singularly in all 3 phases. I think today was a very good illustration of that." But for too many critical moments on Sunday, that focus wasn't there. If the Steelers want to avoid watching the playoffs from home, they need to clean house, figuratively and maybe even literally. That starts with accountability. That starts with learning from this meltdown. Because in a season that once promised redemption, they're now 1 step away from another painful collapse. They didn't just lose to the Bears, they gave it away. And if they don't regroup quickly, this might just be the game that defines and dooms their 2025 season. It was a painful reminder of how fragile momentum can be in the NFL. 1 minute you're leading the division, the next you're fighting just to stay in the playoff conversation. What looked like a promising season is now teetering on the edge, and the only way forward is to treat every remaining game like a playoff matchup. Anything less, and the Steelers will find themselves watching January football from the couch.